How's it going, guys? Today I want to talk about what I like and what I don't like in Davao City. Let's go. So I've been in the Philippines about 4 years. Actually, in probably about 2 weeks from now will officially be my 4-year anniversary. Most of that time I've been in Cebu City. I've gotten to know that city, love that city, see the things that I like and don't like there. But over the last 4 months, I've opened up a second business office in Davao City, and I've really gotten to know this place as well. And in this video, I want to talk about some of the things that I especially like about Davao City and some of the things that I don't love so much. So first, let's jump into the things that I like about Davao City. What first jumps out is that things are so much more orderly than I'm used to living in the Philippines, and certainly I can't help but compare things a bit to Cebu City. So what do I mean by orderly? Well, let's start off with the way people drive here. In Davao, people kind of follow the rules, and I think that the reason why they do that is because the LTO or the traffic enforcers are going to give people a ticket if they don't. So I don't find that people are doing illegal U-turns in the middle of traffic. I find that people aren't speeding, not that you could drive that fast in the Philippines. People just really stay in their lane and drive pretty reasonably, like I would be used to for the most part in somewhere like California where I'm from. And all of that really comes down to, I think, traffic enforcement. Why do people follow the rules in any country when it comes to driving? It's because there's people there that are going to give you a ticket, and so people don't want to trade off their money for doing something illegal on the road. That's really how it works here in Davao City. It's not so much my experience in other places that I've been in the Philippines. So I love that about Davao. The other thing here that's just pretty orderly is the roads themselves. Everything is just clean. Everything is pretty well thought out just in terms of city planning. They're adding new infrastructure here. There's the new Davao Coastal Road. That's just a really beautiful area. And I could tell that they are not just talking about planning new infrastructure, but they're actually putting it into place over here. The other thing that really stands out, again, especially compared to Cebu City, is that there's just so few motorcycles. In Cebu, if you're stopped at a light, there's going to be motorcycles, maybe 20 motorcycles that will just drive in front of you into the area where they're not even supposed to be. And you're always going to be waiting for motorcycles. When you drive, they're going to be on your right, on your left, on top of your car, under your car. You think I'm joking, but it really feels like that there. In Davao, for whatever reason, there just doesn't seem to be as many motorcycles on the road. This isn't a dig at motorcycle drivers. I dig motorcycles, but it's really a pain in the neck in other places that I've been in the Philippines. In Davao, there's more of a balance, definitely a lot more cars than motorcycles, and the motorcycle drivers that are here drive pretty reasonably. They're not something where you're always worried about one hitting you. I've literally had 2 motorcycles hit me living in Cebu City, just not looking, just pulling out on the road, hitting the side of my car, and that type of thing just seems far less likely to happen here in Davao City. The other thing that I find as a business owner in the Philippines is that when it comes to business planning is a lot more orderly as well. There's one central area in Davao City where you could go and, go to BIR or, get mayor's permits, all the types of legal things that you need to do as a business to get things set up and to keep things running from year to year are just in one central location. It makes a lot of sense, and it's just so much easier to be able to go from one business office to another, all within the same 4 walls of a big structure, instead of having to travel here, travel there to get to different places. And this is especially helpful in the Philippines because you might stand in line for one place and then they say, oh no, you've got to first go and get this. And that could take a lot of time if everything isn't all under one roof. So I found starting a second office here, definitely not as involved as starting our first office in Cebu City, where we had to incorporate, but still there was an awful lot of work to get done just to open up a branch office here in Davao City, and living in Davao City makes that a lot easier because of how they have everything organized for businesses. Now, second thing that I really like a lot about Davao City is that it's known as the safest city in the Philippines. And I gotta say here that even when you talk to locals that have lived here their whole life, they're going to affirm, whether you're out at 3 a.m. in the night or, in the middle of a crowded area, Davao City is a really safe place. Does that mean that nothing bad ever happens here? Well, of course not. Humans are going to be humans. However, without exception, everyone that I've ever met that lives here feels that Davao is a very safe place. And so far, that's certainly been my experience as well. Now, why is that? I definitely think that really comes down to the Duterte family. The past president was the one that was the mayor of Davao City for a long time, and his daughter, the current vice president, was the mayor. Now one of the sons is the mayor, and they really have a lot of pride, as do local Davaoians, in just making sure that Davao is a safe place. It's a great place to live, and that's something interesting about Davao as well. I really find that people have a pride in living in Davao and this place, and I think that leads to things being safer. So this isn't just me or locals saying this. You could regularly scroll through websites. They're gonna rank different safe cities in the Philippines. Davao City, without exception, is always gonna be #1 safest city in the Philippines. I hope that it stays that way. I gotta say, living in Cebu City and other places in the Philippines, I've also felt safe. Sure, there is crime everywhere, but overall, I felt far safer living in the Philippines than I felt living in California. Third thing that I really like about Davao is that it's very clean. I'm used to seeing a bit of trash built up here and there. I just never see that here. I don't see big piles of trash on the side of the road. The sidewalks are clean, the streets are clean. It's just clean. I don't know how they make it all happen, but I think part of it is the city really caring about cleanliness, and I think the second part of it is Davaoians just also really caring about keeping the place clean. It just takes everybody. Government can't do it by itself. It really takes people just caring about keeping things clean, and I love that about Davao. Wherever you go, it's just clean. Fourth thing that I love about Davao, and I gotta be honest, I didn't feel this way at first, but I really found that I was wrong. My first impression was wrong. And that is that people here are so friendly. Now, why was that not my first impression? I think it's because people here are also a bit more conservative, a bit more reserved, and so it just kind of seemed like they didn't have as immediately of a friendly face as Cebu City. Cebu City is a super, super friendly city. Whenever you meet people, they're gonna have a big smile and say hello and just greet you in a really warm and friendly way. I can't say that I find that kind of warmth or friendliness in Davao City. However, once you get to know people, they're just very friendly, very down to earth, people that you could just really enjoy a conversation with and getting to know. And so people are friendly, but in a different way than I would say that they are in somewhere like Cebu City. And when it comes down to it, I just really enjoy the people here every bit as much as I do in Cebu City. Now, another thing that I like here might not be relevant for most of you, but I definitely got to mention that, and that is that as an employer, it is so much easier for me to recruit really outstanding employees here. With Purple Cow, the business that I have, we're regularly recruiting digital marketers, website developers, copywriters, digital marketers, video editors, hi video editor, a lot of people that just really have above level skills. Our clients are in the US, Australia, England, different parts of the world, and they have really high expectations of the quality of our work. And in Davao, I found that it's a lot easier for me to recruit people than it was previously in Cebu City. Now, we have a wonderful team in Cebu City as well, but I find that it takes me probably 5 times longer to find the same level of person that we would accept to work with us in Cebu City compared to Davao City. I kind of don't even want to mention this because I don't want there to be more competition for employees in Davao City. But I think in Cebu City, there's just so many huge multinational corporations, and a small company like mine has to compete with those big companies for salaries and so many other the types of things to find employees, and so it's harder as an employer to find the types of people that I need in Cebu City. We can never sacrifice quality, so it just normally takes a bit longer to recruit in Cebu City. In Davao, I'm just able to find the people that I need really quickly, certainly really quickly in comparison. Now, the other thing that I like here is that there is less businesses, which means that for employees, it's harder to get a job. And if you're an employee, that kind of sucks. But if you're an employer, it's good, because for me, I really want to hire people that will stick with us for the long haul. And I think if there's more competition for jobs, people are more likely to stick with the job for longer than in a place like Cebu City, where there's just so many opportunities. And a final thing that I want to mention that I really like about Davao City is that office space is just so much cheaper here compared to somewhere like Cebu City. In Cebu City, you can expect to pay about 1,000 pesos per square meter for office space like we have here. But in Davao City, it's about 500 pesos per square meter. So office costs are literally about half in Davao City compared to Cebu City, and that makes a huge, huge difference. Now, those are the things that I really like about Davao City, and I gotta admit, I didn't expect to really love this city. This is now where I spend about 80% of my time in the month. The other 20% of the time I'm at our Cebu City office. I'm spending time here really first and foremost because I want to build up the team here in Davao just like I did in Cebu City before, and I feel as a boss you can't shortcut just being there in person, and so I really want to be here just to build close connections with the team, to grow the business here. However, on a personal note, I'm really in Davao City because I just love being here, and so it's great to have business as a bit of an excuse to live here as well. It's not to say I don't love Cebu City, I do, but at this stage in my life, I gotta say I really enjoy living in Davao City more than Cebu City. I always love to go back to Cebu City part of the month and visit there, but there is just something about Davao City. It's hard to explain other than the things that I've already mentioned, but it just kind of grabbed me and I really enjoy my time here. All that said, there are some things that I don't like about Davao City, and I want to mention those as well. The first thing is, though office space is way cheaper here, living in a condo or a house is a bit more expensive than Cebu City, and I gotta say that surprised me. With condos, the explanation for the higher prices that I was given is that they're a bit newer to Davao City, they were slower to just really build up, and so you don't find as many condos here as you would in somewhere like Cebu City or other big cities in the Philippines. And I think people are just willing to spend a bit more for those here. There is a lot of money in Davao City, and I think that a lot of those people are just spending a lot on things like new condos. I think the prices are really a little bit ridiculous for what you would pay for a condo. Rent here, for example, a one-bedroom condo in somewhere like Bahada, where our office is. Davao City is just a great central area. One bedroom is going to be about 45,000 pesos a month for a condo. So that's if you're somewhere near a Breeza Mall or one of the other condos like Dusatani Residences, others that are pretty nice here. Comparable condos in Cebu City would probably be about 35,000 pesos a month. So about 10,000 pesos or about $200 difference a month. It's definitely a noticeable difference if you're living over here, especially for those that are retired or just on a bit of a budget. You're gonna notice it a little bit more in Davao City. If you find longer term rentals where you're not right in the heart of the city, in somewhere like Bahada, you could still find rentals for 15K, 20K. So you could still find reasonably priced places, but just expect that all in all, comparable condo is gonna be a bit more in Davao City compared to somewhere like Cebu City. Now, the last thing that really stands out to me that I don't love about Davao City is that it really takes a long time to get from one place to another. City like Cebu City, it's pretty compact, you know, whether you're in Cebu Business Park or Cebu IT Park, things are all just right there, pretty close. I mean, really, you could walk from Cebu Business Park to Cebu IT Park. It probably would just take 15-20 minutes at most. If you're gonna take a taxi or, you know, a motorcycle, whatever it is, it's just gonna be a very short distance. In Davao though, even if you're gonna be from kind of the center of the city and somewhere like Bahada, and then you wanna go to like SM Ecoland Mall, which is a popular mall here, depending on traffic, that could take 30 to 60 minutes. It's just a bit of a hike, and that's because Davao City is just really geographically a very spread out, big city. It's not really compact like Cebu City. If you're gonna travel, you just gotta add a bit to your travel time. I would say that my travel time is probably doubled living in Davao City compared to Cebu City on days where I need to go somewhere. So it's not going to be every day that you're going to need to go from this side of the city to the other side of the city, but if you are, be prepared that's going to take a bit longer than it would than in some other smaller, more compact cities. So all in all, there's so much to love about Davao City. I find that people often are talking about places like Cebu or places like Manila for expats, and especially Cebu, especially somewhere like Dumaguete, are super popular. I don't know why more expats don't wind up in Davao City. I definitely see a number of them here, and those that I've talked to say, can you not talk about Davao City on your videos because we don't want a bunch of expats moving here. But living here, I gotta, be honest that it's really a great place to live, and I've really enjoyed my time here so far. If you've lived in Davao City, I would love to get your thoughts as well. And for those of you that live here or that are planning on traveling here, send me a message. I always love to connect with those of you watching. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and take care.